Hello, beautiful people. It is so good to see you here. I can't see you, but for those who don't know me, my name is Paige Layle. Welcome to my channel. I'm autistic and we talk about autism and stuff over here. If you guys are not doing so, make sure you check me out on TikTok at Paige Layle, and while you're at it, you can check out my Instagram with the same name. If you are new here, I really hope that you do subscribe and turn the notification bells on to get to know more about me and about autism. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I know last week's video was a little hot and heavy, a little sad. I thought that we could just shake it up a little bit and do something that's a little more fun, a little more funny, a little more not sad. Let's see how accurate these autism tests are. A lot of people these days are self-diagnosing. A lot of people don't have access to doctors or the money for a proper formal clinical diagnosis. And so there are these tests online to help you know if you're autistic. I'm an autistic person. I am clinically diagnosed with autism. Ma'am, do not bark at me. No. I am an autistic person. I am clinically diagnosed with autism. I have been for almost 6 years, and so I thought that I would find an autism test and we would do it together and see what I get. Before we get into this autism test though, I need to thank the sponsor of this video who made this video possible, and that is Care Of. If you guys have been subscribing to me for a while, you know that I've talked about Care Of a few times on this channel. I definitely recommend them to anyone who listens. Care Of helps you to make sure that you are getting the supplements that you need in your day. And they come right to your door, so you don't need to go out at all. You don't need to go in grocery stores. You don't need to buy big, bulky jars of things. You go onto their website, you take a quiz, and they will find out what supplements you are recommended to get in your day. And then they will ship those supplements to you in little packages like this one with your little name on them, which is the cutest thing in the world. And you just take this package a day and you don't have to navigate which supplements do I take and buy all these supplements. Care Of will send them to you. It's super simple and easy to navigate. You just go on the site, take the little quiz, and it's kind of like you're having like a one-on-one with your own personal nutritionist. When I took the quiz, I talked about how I need more energy, and so they sent me something for energy, and they also sent me vitamin D because I live in Canada, so I don't get much of the sun. I got keratin for hair and nails, and I also got cranberry pills. They ship right to my door every month, so I don't need to go outside, and I can limit the social interaction that I have with people. I also like how they ask me about my family history to see if there's anything that I should be watching out for in myself, in my body. I keep my Care Of packages on a little thing on my nightstand, and I like to write the dates on the packages so I remember if I've taken my vitamins or not, because they're separated by every single day. Make sure you guys check out the quiz below with the link in the description. Find out what supplements Care Of recommends for you and use my code PaigeLayle to get 50% off your first order. That is again Paige Layle for half off your first order. That's nuts. And now let's do a little quiz. So let's do IDR Labs autism quiz. So it says here that there are 50 questions. Okay. As a child, I would often repeat words or phrases that were said to me. Yes, I did do that. I accumulate lots of facts. Stop there. Yes. That interests me. Absolutely. I know facts about every single thing all the time. I follow a set schedule closely and tend to avoid unfamiliar things. Absolutely. People have told me that I can be obsessed about my interests. Absolutely. Very high. People sometimes tell me that I'm being rude at conversations, even though I think I'm being polite. Every single day when you're on social media, people are like, that tone, what is that tone? And I'm like, I'm being quite nice. I'm gonna give that a heavily agree. I enjoy parties. Do I really enjoy parties? No, but I think that I like the idea of being there and being invited because I'm like, I want to be cool. I don't see why though. I don't like to drink. I don't like loud noises. I'm gonna give it not a full disagree, but like a disagree, but like I'm not like heavily against them, you know what I'm saying? I like to be invited. It is stressful for me to have to retain eye contact with others. I wouldn't consider it stressful. I would consider it painful and annoying and uncomfortable. I guess I'll give that a half agree then, because I feel like, see, I am autistic and I know I'm autistic, so I'm probably being a little too autistic on this question. Like, it is stressful for me. The answer should probably be a full agree, but because they use the word stressful, I'm not stressed to give eye contact with people. I'm stressed regarding how much eye contact with people I give. No, I guess continuing the eye contact gets stressful because then I'm thinking about if it's too much or if it's not enough or if I'm blinking enough or not at all. Sometimes I'll just stare at people. Considering what they're asking of me, I should probably do a full agree. I'm rarely worried about anything. That's hilarious. I feel irritated and or angry when I have to navigate uncertain situations. I feel less irritated doing it and more stressed. Panicked would be the proper word. I'm not angry, but I'm going to give it a half because those emotions do come up sometimes, but it's primarily a panic. I talk to my friends at a party the same way I would talk to my coworkers. Yes, I think a half. No, perhaps a full. I do talk to people the same way all the time. Is that normal? Is that how everyone is? Or is that only how autistic people are? I don't know what the holistic answer of that is. I often bump into things or trip over my own feet. Yeah, I have very poor proprioception and interoception, if you guys didn't know. Yes. I dislike talking to people I don't know. Full agree. I have certain routines or habits that I feel I must follow. Absolutely agree. I've been described as having an unusual posture. Ooh. Others just told me that I have repetitive bodily movements. Yes, I do. I'm very sensitive to noise. I am very sensitive to noise. I hate the sound of correct. I hate all those things. The sound of fireworks, fire alarms, and or thunder. I hate them. When I see a balloon, I worry that it might pop. What a strange question, doesn't everyone? Like when you see a balloon, you're like, that's gonna pop right by my head. Like that's not, yes. I feel like that's a strange question to be in this autism thing. Are you telling me that's an autism thing that I do? Others have told me that I speak like a robot. Absolutely. Others have told me that I have problems managing my anger. I actually do not have problems managing my anger. I'm not very angry. Angry is not a primary emotion of mine. No one has told me that I have problems managing my anger. People have told me I have problems managing my anxiety. So I'm gonna give it a disagree. I've never been good at sports. Full agree. I was good at dance and running, but those are individual sports, but team sports I'm very not good at. I'm athletic in myself, and I can run fast, and I can move my body, and that's great, but I can't communicate with others in sports. So I think I'm going to agree for the sake of the question. People have told me that I make repetitive, strange noises, and or repeat certain words out of context. Absolutely. I have a tendency to yell at people. I actually do. I do that. Forgive me, my mother. I almost always carry some special object in my purse or wallet that provides me with a sense of security, comfort, or control. Yes. Ever since I was a small being, I prefer to do things on my own. Absolutely. Like group projects when I was a kid, I'm like, I'm the smartest in the room. Everyone else is incompetent. Listen, I was a very egotistic kid. With good reason. Usually I was the smartest in the room. I'm sorry, that's probably not nice. When watching movies, I do not usually look at the eyes of the actors. Do y'all look at the eyes of the actors? What? Why would you? I like eyes. Eyes are pretty. But unless it's a thing of their eyes, why would I be looking at their eyes? Are y'all looking at my eyes right now? I do not usually look at the eyes of the actors. I'm gonna strongly agree on that. I have trouble understanding what people mean when they say they feel happy for someone else. I'm gonna half agree on that. I know what people mean when they say that. I don't know if it makes much sense, but I understand what people mean. I'm often beset by feelings of sadness. Oh, come on, IQ. She does not know what that means. Beset. Well, now I have to, like, you know, real quick go Google that. Trouble or threaten persistently. Oh, I have a difficulty being sad? Is that seriously what you want to say? Like, I have a problem or difficulty when I am sad? Doesn't everybody? Isn't that like the purpose of sadness? Like, others say that I speak too loudly or too softly. Yes, always too loudly. When I'm having a conversation with someone, I prefer to look at the wall, at their shoes, or somewhere other than their eyes. Yes. Being away from home for extended periods of time frightens me. Absolutely. More when I was a child. Now I'm moving into my own house. It still is terrifying, and I still like to go to my parents' house as often as possible, but I'm getting better at it. But when I was a child, I could tell you story times. I rarely experience happiness or joy. That's an autism question? That's sad. Like, being unhappy is not inherently an autism thing. It's just, I'm not accommodated a happy autistic person. But being unhappy is not an autism thing. I rarely experience happiness or joy. I'm gonna strongly disagree. I experience happiness and joy every day, actually. It's hard for me to sit still without tapping or fidgeting. Absolutely. New social situations make me anxious. Absolutely. I have a tendency to hit or destroy things when I'm angry or stressed. Half yes. That's usually not my number one. I used to more when I was a child, and now I'm just kind of like I've accommodated out of that. This is all very behavior based, and behavior is a secondary emotion, and so that's really tough to, like, I hit or destroy things when I'm angry or stressed. I've been through therapy for 11 years of my life, and so I don't do this anymore, so I'm gonna half agree. I am almost always in the same neutral or flat mood. I'm going to disagree with that. My emotions are very extreme. Expressions like raining cats and dogs and feeling like $1 million are confusing to me. I would think that they would be confusing to everybody. But what you do, if you're me, is you figure out where they came from and why they exist, and then they're less confusing. I find it difficult to make decisions or act without guidance from others. I am going to half disagree on that, because I definitely, when I was a child, was very persuaded by other people, but now I do not care what anyone thinks, because I always think that I'm better than everybody. I actually think that I make very good decisions, so I'm gonna half disagree. I get temper tantrums when others cannot reach me. Like, again, a very behavioral question, which does not make you inherently autistic. I'm gonna disagree on that. At parties or other social gatherings, I usually stand in corners or close to a wall. I'm trying to remember the last social gathering I was at. I would say I'm gonna half it, because I can't remember the last time I was at a social gathering. I do remember being on the outskirts. For sure. I get obsessed with strings of numbers, such as dates and license plates. I had a notebook just full of license plates that I saw and recorded in my head, and at the end of the day I would write them down. Creepy. As a child, I put most of the pressure on the front of my feet when walking. Actually, no, full disagree. I put all of the pressure on my heels. I would walk on my heels. Oh, but then I was a dancer, so I got all the toe walking out at dance, and then I would heel walk everywhere else, because then it would be uneven. But the answer to this question is disagree. I tiptoe walk at dance, I would heel walk everywhere else, and I wore out all my shoes by doing that. My parents got really mad at me because I had to keep buying me shoes because I kept ruining them, especially nice wedges, you know, like fancy going out. I would walk on the heels and they would get mad at me. So I'm going to say disagree, because I disagree. Would I have tiptoed walked more if I was not a dancer? I'm gonna say disagree though. Oh, see, they're too specific but not specific enough. I do not like going to a lot of places like malls, markets, and amusement parks. Agree. I generally avoid eye contact with others. I would half that, because I don't care to, but if I'm masking or if I really feel like it's a thing that's gonna help me survive, I will stare at your eyeballs. I cannot stand certain sounds. Yes. Oh, yes. I bought plates, like dishes, that are made of bamboo so they don't clang, because that is the worst. I usually feel unhappy more days than not. I'm gonna half agree that. I sometimes have compulsive thoughts, yes. About being injured, yes. Or having other bad things happen to me in extremely specific ways, absolutely. Is that not normal? I often rock myself or fiddle with my hands to feel better, absolutely. Even when I'm paying attention in conversations, I do not necessarily look into the eyes of the speaker. Yeah, what? When I get angry, I calm down faster than most people. I'm gonna heavily disagree that guy. Finish. Okay. So the funny thing about this is that they only asked me one question about posture, and yet they placed my posture in the center. Fixations, all the way, okay. Abnormal or flat speech, okay. Noise sensitivity, yes. Social difficulty, yes. Anxiety, yes. Abnormal posture, yeah. Eye contact, fidgets, yeah. Aggression is probably my lowest. Depression I would consider a lot higher, but I'm unsure what this means. Is this an autism? This is an autism spectrum test. Are all these things indications of autism? I guess so. Your autism spectrum symptoms are very high. Okay. My symptoms. So, overall thoughts on this test. 50 questions, not enough. All very behavior based. If I'm taking this test for myself, I can answer more questions about feelings and thoughts and emotions, but they were like, you do this. You know what? I feel like it's a lot of people that aren't diagnosed autistic that do this quiz. And I also talk about autism all day, every day, so I knew a lot of the things coming up. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. I guess it doesn't really give me, I'm not very much an unbiased reviewer, am I? It's fine. The test is fine. 50 questions, it's fine. My recommendation, if you're gonna self-diagnose yourself, use these as a tool. Don't use them as a definitive answer. And do them multiple times, over a period of a few months or something, and see what answers you get different times. This quiz was fine. Okay, and so I found another autism test, And this is from Psych Central. Let's see. I would rather do things with other people than alone. Definitely disagree. I have a hard time changing the way I do things. Definitely agree. It's very easy for me to create a picture in my mind of something I've imagined. You know what? I'm going to disagree on that. I'm not very good, like, imagining something and picturing. My brain doesn't work in pictures. At times, I'm so focused on doing one thing that I forget to do other things. I'm gonna agree. Some small sounds that don't bother other people often bother me. Agree. I often remember random facts like license plates and house numbers. Absolutely. I know all of my childhood best friends' addresses and their home phone numbers, which no one has anymore, but I frequently say things or ask questions that people may take the wrong way. Yes. I can easily get a picture in my mind of what a character in a story looks like. I cannot do that. I have an intense fascination with calendar dates. Absolutely. When hanging out with a group of friends or my peers, I can easily keep track of everyone's different conversations. I would be very upset if people were having multiple conversations around me. Why not let's all just be included in the same conversation of everyone's different conversations? I can't remember the last time I was in such a big group that people were having multiple different conversations, but I would say that I am not. I'm going to slightly disagree. I enjoy hanging out with others. I'll slightly agree. People are okay. My friends are okay. That's it. I often recognize details that others miss. That is true. Instead of going to a party with friends, I'd rather hang out alone. I would definitely agree. I find it easy to make up imaginary stories. I do agree with that. I do have a very vivid imagination. I connect more to people than things. I'm going to disagree on that. I get extremely upset and frustrated when I can't do the things I enjoy. I will slightly agree. It's less things that I enjoy, but like things that I need to function as a human. Would I necessarily enjoy those things I need to do to function as a human? I guess so. I enjoy chatting with other people. Chatting is the worst. No. I tend to talk so much it's hard for others to join. I literally thought that the other day. One of my friends was FaceTiming me, telling me about something that she's doing, and she called me to rant to me about something, and then I spent like 10 minutes talking and then didn't realize that I just talked for 10 minutes. And I'm like, this was about you, and you wanted to tell me something, and now I've been talking to you about like why fireflies' butts glow or something. I don't even remember what it was. I have an intense fascination with numbers and letters. Yes. I'm often unaware of or confused by the intentions, beliefs, or desires of a character in a story I'm reading. Yes, I often miss a lot of what novels actually mean because I just read the words that people have written, and apparently that's not all. I prefer reading books about nonfiction. Yes, absolutely. Making new friends isn't easy for me. Agree. I can easily recognize patterns. Yes. I prefer going to the movies than to a museum. I would say I would slightly disagree. I love museums, but movies are nice too. I don't get upset when the way I like to do things suddenly changes. Did y'all think I was gonna? I find it difficult to carry on a conversation with others. Yes. Unless it's something interesting. Unless it's not small talk. When someone is talking to me, it's easy to read between the lines. No. I tend to focus more on the overall idea than the details. No. I focus more on the details than the overall idea. Remembering facts like phone numbers isn't easier for me. False. Black bear. I find it hard to know small changes in a person's appearance. Yes. It's hard for me to read someone's body language when we're talking. Yes. Body language has no words. How do you read something that has no words? I know how to multitask, do more than one thing at a time. I'm going to slightly disagree on that. When on the phone, I can't tell when I should be listening or talking. Yes. Mostly I will talk. I enjoy doing things in the spur of the moment. No. I don't get jokes as easily as others. Agree. I can look at someone's face and know what they're thinking or feeling. Interruptions don't bother me. I can quickly and easily return to what I was doing. No. I'm good at making small talk. No. So, I'm okay with it. I can do it because I have been an actor since I was 6 years old, and so I have scripts memorized of people making small talk. So if it needs to happen, I have scripts. I tend to repeat myself and go, regardless of how much it interests others. Sorry to anyone that's ever had a conversation with me. When I was younger, I liked playing pretend games. I did do that. Collecting information about, oh yes! I have a hard time imagining how it would feel to be someone else. Yeah, I feel like I would feel the same. One universal experience of my brain. I take time to carefully plan my activities. I do. I like going to parties, get-togethers, and hanging out with friends. I would slightly agree to that. I have a hard time understanding what someone really means. It would be a disagree if people said what they meant, but people don't like to say what they mean. It's all circumstantial. So in this specific question, I do have a hard time understanding what someone really means insinuates that people do not tell you everything that they really mean. Most people that are close to me will tell me exactly what it is that they really mean, so I don't have to try to assume what they really mean. Like, I get nervous when I'm in new situations, absolutely. I like to meet new people, absolutely not. I'm a good mediator. I am a good mediator, I would find. I'm very factual. I have a hard time remembering people's birthdays. Nope, I do not have any hard time. I like to play pretend games with children. Absolutely, kids are the best. Certain textures, fabrics that don't bother others, yes, bother me. Sometimes I get so overwhelmed by senses that I have to go, yes. If someone's vacuuming, yes. Certain types of foods bother me, so I won't eat them, yes. I'd rather eat soft foods than crunchy foods like crackers or chips. You know what, that is actually I'm gonna slightly disagree on that. I do not like soft foods. I don't like I don't like the top. Like potatoes, yogurt, oatmeal, bananas, you're on thin ice. I like the taste of you, but the texture of you's butthole. I would rather eat crunchy foods than soft, creamy foods. Yes. Oh, get results. Okay, let's see. Autism likely. You scored 43 out of 88. You likely have issues similar to those diagnosed with autism spectrum. Oh, 34 plus is autism likely. That's funny. Wow. Well, I mean, they got it right. They did get it right. I do have autism, but I think that's funny that I scored less than half. This test, I mean, I can't remember how many questions, but I would assume it would be similar to the last one. But I think that is okay. It's fine. It was a little weird sometimes, but there's some things in there that I like. It's very, you know, you gotta really self-reflect on that. So Psych Central, I don't know, do that one as well. But let's see. The Autism Spectrum Quotient. You've heard of IQ, now here's AQ. I feel like these are getting very repetitive, so maybe I should just see what my answers are. On my own, pretending he's beside me, all alone, I walk with him till morning. Without him, I feel his arms around me, and when I lose my way, I close my eyes, and he has found me. In the rain, the pavement shines like silver, all the lights are misty in the river. In the darkness, the trees are full of starlight. Let's see what I got. 44 out of 50. Significant autistic traits, autism. Isn't that funny how every autistic person is just so different? MyRealPersonality.com. Okay. It's only gonna take 12 questions to find out if I'm autistic. Autism is a complex and multifaceted neurological developmental disorder. You can test it in 12 questions? I prefer to do things with others. No. The same way. Yes. They're like, Paige, we haven't even loaded the screen yet. I'm fascinated by dates? Yes. Every time I click, it's like new screen. I find them easy? No, I do not. Making up stories? I'm very good at that. Is my thing trying to tell me I'm lying? I can make up stories easily. I'm fascinated by numbers? Yes. I find it hard to make new friends? Yes. I'm not very good? No, I'm very good at remembering phone numbers. That's at 412. 412 is the time I was born. I enjoy doing no, I do not. I enjoy meeting new people? No, I do not. I tend to notice details others don't? Yes. Other people frequently tell me that what I've said is impolite? Yes. That's a question they've used often. Several symptoms that could occur in autism. Please note the following. Share on Facebook. So all of them said that I'm autistic, which, you know, true. Because I think that, you know, there are some things that you have to do in order to be diagnosed with autism, right? So some of them made sense. Some of them didn't. I think that a lot of them are very circumstantial and also don't take into effect like people's ages, how long they've been working at things for, because there are things, like there are ways that I am now that I was not when I was a kid, when I was previously before diagnosis to after I was diagnosed to now being almost 21. I'm not any less autistic just because I'm happier. Now I have a lot more tools, a lot more coping mechanisms, a lot more things to make me feel comfortable and safe and accommodate me. And that doesn't make me any less autistic. And that's another thing about these tests, is that they are often a measurement of autism when autistic people are in distress. And autistic people are not always in distress. And autistic people should not always be in distress. And our autism should not be measured by how much distress we are in. Autistic people will always be more likely to flourish and be happy when they're in an environment that suits them. When kids are having meltdowns all the time, and when they're angry and loud and breaking things, like that's an unhappy being. as an unhappy child. I was also like that, and now I'm a lot happier. That's the thing when it comes to like behaviorism and autism. Autism is not a behavioral disorder. My behaviors have changed, and they continue to as I age and as I go to therapy and as I learn things about myself. I still have all these thoughts and feelings, but now I have found ways to figure it out. I recognize emotions a lot more and how emotions feel in my body, and so not everything is behavioral. Behaviorism's not an exact science, but whatever. But anyway, thank you guys for watching me take these autism tests. Thank you again, Kara, for sponsoring this video. And thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, I really hope that you do give it a thumbs up. It's a free way to help your girl out. And if you are not subscribed, I really hope that you consider subscribing, hear more of what I have to say, and learn more about autism every day. Thank you guys for being here. I love you so much. I will talk to you later. Bye.